So hi everyone, welcome to another training session from the Network of Resources webinar series that we host every Friday. So I'm happy to see that more and more people are aware of the initiative. So if you're joining us for the very first time, a quick reminder again, the Network of Resources is an ESA initiative that promotes the use of cloud services for Earth observation data exploitation. So the NOR has created or aggregated this community of already existing cloud providers that give access to their data sets and also to processing services and cloud services for to help the users to access Earth observation data and build applications, be they scientific for research, pre-commercial, or also educational purposes. So the idea of this webinar series is to explore together these different platform services that are all available in the Network of Resources portfolio that my colleague Federico will walk you through at the end of the session, where we also have a sponsorship process that allows you to use these different services. So today we're very happy to host David Converse from Airbus that will give us a presentation about Airbus OneAtlas platform. So the floor is yours, David. I will ask the participants to write their questions in the chat. We will take them at the very end of the presentation. And right after that, my colleague Federico will give you a presentation about the NOR portal and the sponsorship process. So the floor is yours, David.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Zeynep. So I'm David, based in Toulouse in Airbus Intelligence. We are the division of Airbus that is operating some, let's say, Earth observation satellites. And I will introduce you our OneAtlas Analytics offering, and that is available through the NOR opportunity. So I'll share my screen and show you a couple of slides, and then I'll show you as well a demo of the platform. Here we go. So you can see more concretely what it is about and how it works. Okay, I'm moving full screen now. Do you see it well?
Yes, we can see this.
Okay. So analytic solutions. Let's go. So yeah, I will introduce few capabilities and use cases, and then I will show you through a demo how it works on the platform, how you can use it, and I will also show you quickly our API and documentation portal where you can find all the supporting documents needed. Okay, I will just go quickly, but just to mention that we operate our own services as Airbus, and we have different Earth observation satellites, radar, optical satellites, and today we will mainly talk about the capabilities that run on optical satellites. Okay, so mainly Spot, Pleiades, and Pleiades Neo. These are, let's say, the type of sensors that we will discuss today. So high resolution images. You see these satellites, Spot, Pleiades, and Pleiades Neo are part of a wider, let's say, a portfolio of satellites of images, but this is where we will focus on high resolution images. So what we do is that we built a platform called OneAtlas, and this is what I will show you. In this platform, you can find data, but you can, so images, basically, layers, images, etc. But you can also run analytics on top of these images to extract information. It could be detecting objects, finding patterns, etc., extracting land use information, that kind of thing. So these analytics are hosted and can be run and accessed through OneAtlas. This is what we'll see together. And then there is a third type of activity, which is more about thematic services and for agriculture, for forestry, etc., that are also hosted on OneAtlas, but are a bit, let's say, different, and I will not detail that today. So I will focus more on the let's say, analytics capabilities that you will be able to access through the NOR program. So we have different type of analytics, and when it comes to analytics, we can split them into some, let's say, families. And the first family, of course, is the object identification in images. So how to detect cars, trucks, could be vessels at sea or in harbors, aircrafts, etc., etc. And so on the platform, we can find analytics that have been trained on our images and that can now be, let's say, called by any user of OneAtlas. I need to find the cars of this particular place. I need to count the trucks in this particular place, and I need to do it every week or every month or whatever. These are things that are really feasible on the platform. So different type of objects, of course, cars, trucks, etc. And that you can run in a very small scale, in a district or whatever, but also at a big scale, into full strip image, etc. So at a regional scale. So this is something that is, let's say, achievable through the platform. Here are some screenshots or examples. These are, let's say, object detection from Pleiades Neo images. So 30 centimeter resolution images. And these are typically examples of cars and trucks detection from this sensor. Here is similar screenshots for vessel detection. Again, we have trained the model with images all over the world in multiple contexts, and the idea is to detect objects, ships and vessels, whether they are civilian or military vessels, whether they are at sea or in a harbor or in a facility. The idea is to detect in multiple, let's say, configurations these objects. So this was, let's say, the first family of object detection, the object models. The second family would have is what we call infrastructure models. So here we talk about monitoring the changes of infrastructure. Are there new buildings, new roads, destructions, earthworks, but also highlighting the buildings, the roads, the land use, etc., etc. So this is, let's say, our second family of models of analytics. And what you will find on the platform is what we call infrastructure change detection. It's a model that has been developed by our partner of Hyperverge, and that is hosted on the platform. And it's quite simple. You can select an old image and a new image, a fresh image, and then you can actionate, let's say, activate the change detection service that will highlight the major changes between the images. So we have automated version, which is full AI, and we have also, you can tick a box and activate also human quality control service to give a bit more, let's say, precision to the results, and a bit more, let's say, cleaning of the data. You can monitor the changes, but you can also, if you need, you can also, let's say, transform your image into a map or into a land use map. And this is typically a workflow that we have with the Ecopia company, our partner from Ecopia, with the idea of extracting more than 10, more than 13, even 13 classes of objects on an image. Okay, so we talk about delineating buildings, roads, etc., water, low vegetation, high vegetation, forest, etc. And the idea is to, again, to get access through OneAtlas to this capability that works on very small piece of images, but also at scale, on full strip, on cities, regions, and even bigger areas. This one is just an illustration of the type of product that is generated. Okay, so it's really from the optical image to the vector extraction and land use classification. Okay, second example with building and road extraction. Again, we took an image, and this is the vector result, the AI, let's say, result of the road and building that have been extracted from the image. And in terms of context, again, it's what we publish on OneAtlas. What you will find there is really quite, let's say, stable in terms of geographical context or scalability of the process. Okay, this is a building delineation. Again, same kind of model to extract buildings from images. This one is fully automated without any human editing or quality check in the loop. There is, when it comes to buildings and infrastructure, there is also the idea of providing what we call LOD1 products. So let's say symbolic buildings. So basically these are, let's say, 3D buildings that are representing the realistic footprint of the building and the height of the building. So you can see the illustration on the right. It's a very interesting capability to support 3D visualization, mapping, digital twin applications, etc., etc. Okay, maybe I can show you quicker, more than a screenshot. It's a kind of video where we extracted the buildings over Taiwan and South Korea. The full extraction and production took around 1 month, but it was a very, let's say, a very fast process. And you can see here the result of this LOD1 product. This one is over Busan in South Korea. So these are, let's say, the footprints and including the height of the buildings. And it has to be noted that here the height of the buildings is something that is extracted from the real 3D, from the DSM. So it's not a guess of what would be the probabilistic height of the building. It's really what we observe from photogrammetry, and what is our estimation of the height of the building. So this is also a capability that you can request through the OneAtlas and the OneAtlas Analytics offering. Okay, the camera is very slow. I will not show everything, the full video, but you can see what it looks like. Okay. Before going to the demo and to show you the portal and the OneAtlas platform and to show you how it works, how we can use it, here are a couple of use cases that we deployed this year. It was about when it comes to change detection. This is an example for let's say, to map the building changes through time and to support some let's say tax collection use cases, understanding where are the new buildings, the destroyed buildings, and trying to support gov authorities in the planning of their control of the activity. Now the use case that we jointly done with Ecopia was showing the buildings over Taiwan and South Korea. The purpose of it was to feed a customer, currently a Zenly Snapchat, with these building layers in order for them to include this foundational layer into their own product and their own mobile app. So of course, can understand that with such use cases, we need to make the platform scalable and to make it work in any place of the world, in any context. So this is really done to fulfill any of your needs. Okay, so this is for the, let's say, general introduction, and I will now show a bit more how to connect OneAtlas and how to play with the platform. So I will leave the presentation and move to web browser. Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that you see the, okay, looks good. The good screen. So here is the OneAtlas data web portal. So simple access through web link. It's just a basic URL. And when it comes to when you join OneAtlas, when you connect to OneAtlas, you will have, let's say, several types of access, okay, depending of what you need on OneAtlas or what is your subscription made for. Okay, in our case, today, in your case, it will be simple. You want the access to the living library and analytics. So this is basically the library of our images and the analytics to be run on top of it. And that's it. We are connected on the platform. And then it's hopefully quite easy to use. You can upload an AOI or KML, GeoJSON, whatever, or draw something. And whatever, so I'm connected in Toulouse, I can choose Toulouse, whatever place you want. And from there, you will be able to either access the images. Okay, I want to see what are the last images I have in the catalog. Okay, so for instance, there is an image from January the 9th. Here is the resolution, 0.5 meter, but there was 0.3 meter resolution data from December. And per default, what we have here are the, let's say, highest quality images. So you see 1% cloud coverage, etc. But you can also, let's say, show all the content, and here you will see that you will see even the cloudy images. But of course, it's a bit more difficult to run analytics on top of these cloudy images. So we will filter and keep only the, let's say, the best looking images for now. And I can click and just display the images. Okay, so this is a live streaming. Hopefully the connection is not too bad, and I hope you can see it well. So the images are auto-rectified on the fly. Okay, so they are not processed beforehand. It's really when I click on the eye, it's really calling the L1 product, let's say, and it is running some image processing models and auto rectification models to display it on the screen. Okay, same with the 30 centimeter, just to show that it's exactly the same. We have it's really on the fly auto rectification. And for those of you who are, let's say, familiar with satellite images, you can see that this is a winter image. So of course, the lightness is a bit different than in summer, and we can really see the shadows of the buildings and trees. So this is very interesting, and the contrast is therefore a bit different than summer images. Okay, so let's say that I've seen that in Toulouse. Okay, there are a couple of images that are interesting for me. Now I'd like to run some analytics to maybe extract the cars all over the road network, all over the district, or all over the city. So how to do it? I will come back here. And okay, let's say I want to work on this AY. Maybe it's a bit big, but okay, I want to work on the full AY. I can activate the analytics toolbox. So it's really a toolbox of tools, let's say, the tools that we've just seen in the presentation. Okay, so you can find again the detection of cars, of trucks, etc. Cars is quite straightforward. It's quite simple. I click on car detection. And then, as we have seen, there are multiple images in the catalog, so I can select the images to be processed. Okay, so let's say that I want to focus on the best looking ones, and I don't know, I need to work on some old or fresh or whatever image. I can select this one, January the 9th. So, okay, I can look again. Okay, it's covering my area. I can select. I will just drop a name. This is a, I don't know, car detection. Okay, project 1, whatever. And we'll just click on order, and we can test it. And just before doing order, you see that here it will display a credit that will be consumed by this action. Okay, so the credit is here. On the top right, you have a credit balance. So when you order or when you have a 5,000 euros subscription, it means that you have worth 5,000 euros of credits to be used in the platform, either watching images, downloading images, or running analytics. So of course here it's a bit big. I've run it on a full scale image, and it will use that level of credits. Okay, today I have 5,700 euros of credit, and it will use 1,500. Okay, and I click on order, and okay, order has been well received, and then it will process in the background, so I will not see it. I can jump to another project, launching a car detection. Okay, we've done it. Of course, ships will not work that much, but trucks or starts. Maybe I can show change detection, because all the analytics are quite the same. You pick up an image, and then you click, and it's going. When it comes to change detection, it's exactly the same. It's just that you have to select before and after image. So let's say image 1. I want to understand the change between, I don't know, November and January. So, okay, let's say I select image 1. I select image 2. Okay, and again, I will type a project name, might change Toulouse. The same principle, it will use some credits from the subscription. And here, this is what I was saying at the beginning. We can, let's say, do the no quality control option, which is fully automated mode, only the model and the imagery that will work together. Or semi-automated mode with quality control. So the images will be processed, the model will run on the images and detect changes, and then human quality control will be there to improve the cleanness and the quality of the results, especially to remove the false positives. So of course, with quality control, it takes a bit more time, generally less than 3 days. But yeah, this is the with quality control option. And if I do no quality control, of course, it will start processing, and as we just did it for a car. Okay, so let's say I've launched all my processes. Maybe I can do a change detection in one season in Toulouse, and then I can do another one in winter, in summer, and whatever. And I can, through the other tracking button here, I can track the let's say the processing that are ongoing. Okay, and here we can see that we have a car detection project Toulouse. So this is the project that we created. It is in the in progress category. Okay, and then you will find in the delivered category or errors the projects that you have launched, the result of the project. Okay, we've seen the concept of credits. Here is the button to just to have an overview of the subscription when it starts, when it expires, what is the level of credit that is still there, and there are some, let's say, simulator for you can, let's say, test the consumption of the credits before really ordering on the platform. And of course, you have launched your project to detect objects, to detect changes, to find the cars. So you will be able to find them on My Data. Okay, so My Data is the workspace of, it's your workspace. All users have their own workspace, and this workspace is only visible by the user. It's really a private workspace where will be hosted all the images that you download, or all the results of the analytics production. Okay, so here is my data. Here is my images. Okay, it's my account of plenty of images. Okay, and if I show you my analytics, here I have filtered only on the ship detection to show you another type of demo for vessel detection. And you can see here that you can filter through by category, so you can display the cars detection results, aircraft detection results, etc., etc. So let's say I want to display whatever. This is Suez. Okay, so this is an example of results. Maybe a more fresh one. Akaba. Okay, so you see it's really finding the vessels patterns even in deep Black Sea. It's really okay for the big vessels. It's not that complex, but even the small ones. Okay, and etc., etc. So here are all projects that we have run. Here is an aircraft detection over an airport. So this airport is very special because it's the airport where you can find as well the Airbus factory. So you can find both aircraft like here that are, let's say, civilian airlines, and you can find aircraft that are under construction. And it's very interesting because here you can see as well some bad detection, obviously. So you can see that the model has been fooled by this cross on the highway. It's a really interesting pattern there. And etc. Action, detection, land use. So you can access all the results on the My Analytics platform, workspace. Sorry. Okay, so basically this is what you will find on OneAtlas with the let's say when it comes to analytics. I just want to show again Analytics Toolbox. And there is also the capability to activate what was seen as well, building footprint extraction, roads, land use, all these building things. Okay, so here the interface is a bit different. You have to select coverage, start date, end dates, etc. And you will have, let's say, an automated coverage estimation to evaluate the feasibility of your project. Okay, because when it comes to extracting land use maps from large-scale areas, of course, it means we need to check that we have the images, etc. So when it's a very small piece of area of interest, it's very easy to find. But if you have a very large area, you can also use this tool to make sure that we can do the land use or not using our optical coverage. Okay. So that's it for the OneAtlas platform in a nutshell. And the last, let's say, topic that I want to add is that we have what we call Geo API portal. So it's really our API access and documentation website. So why do I mention API? Because all that we've seen now through the web portal is available through API. Okay, so we have built APIs to consult the catalog of images, to order images, to stream images, but also to execute and run analytics models on these images. Okay, so this is what I will show you now. So it's okay, you'll find it on the Google. You type Airbus API portal or developer portal, and you will find it. Else the address is in the presentation. And in this portal, you will find tutorials and to let's say to get started on OneAtlas with the APIs. So you see, we click on OneAtlas, and then okay, there are some description of high-level, let's say high-level workflow for the APIs, but also some tutorials. So how to search an image, how to activate an analytics, how to view it, how to stream it or to download it from OneAtlas. So for each, let's say, action, there was let's say, a full tutorial if there is a need to be supported to get started. Okay, so if I take the example of the analytics, what we just showed there, there was a complete, let's say, tutorial how to, let's say, how to get the list of the available analytics on the platform, how to search images, and then how to order, like we did manually, and we ordered analytics detection. So how to do it via the API. And each time you have a, let's say, a proposition of a payload, and then the response that you should have from the system. Okay, I will not show you into the details. It's a very small font, and it's better to go through it, and it's quite long. But there's a lot of, let's say, very extensive documentation there. On this platform, you can also, if you're interested in accessing OneAtlas through API, on this platform, you can also, let's say, manage your API key. So you can create an API key, and it will be associated to your subscription, and it will be useful for of course to register, to authenticate on OneAtlas via API. Be careful when you create the API key. It will display the API key, and then it will be not displayed anymore. Even if you go to My API Keys, these are not the API keys, these are just IDs. But once you have generated your API key, you have to keep it in a very, let's say, careful way. And last thing that we can show is a status page as well. So yeah, there was really is historical pages, and there was also a status page. So you can see if the systems are operational. Okay, so we can see that, for instance, the analytics part of OneAtlas is green light. The data portal is green light. Of course, we've used it just now. Extra. You can see also the scheduled maintenance. You can see until yesterday we had a big maintenance on OneAtlas that was having some impacts on many services, including analytics, you see. So there was also this automated status IO page. Okay, and of course there was a tech support team. Here is the email address, and it's a direct line with the customer support that is here to help use the platform or solve any bugs or support the users in the activation of the platform. So it's really a great team that you must feel free to activate and to contact in case of any trouble or any question on OneAtlas. And that's it. It's coming to the end of this journey on OneAtlas. So I hope it was clear enough and interesting for you. And I'm happy to take any comments. And I think there will be now also a presentation from the Isanor initiative to understand a bit more how to activate and access this. But in the meantime, I'm happy to get any feedback or questions if any, or later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Thanks a lot. If there are any questions, please write to us in the chat. I have a quick question. When you showed the example, I think it was for change detection with quality or without quality control. So if I understood correctly, with quality control, it's a semi-automated necessitating human intervention to remove, for example, false alarms. Do you have an idea if it's how much time it takes? Is it few hours, few days to have the results?
So basically, it really depends on the size of the area. This is why we say typically up to 3 days.
Okay, so it's up to 3 days.
But it's typically up to 3 days for one full strip image. So let's say 20 kilometer per 50. This is it, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And for the results and the data format, so for data available on the platform, it's in native format, and for the analytics, the download is in GeoJSON.
Yes, correct. All the vectors are published in GeoJSON. When it comes to land use and road vectors and building vectors, here we are more on the shape format delivery. Shapefile, yeah.
Okay. Well, if there are any questions, maybe in the meantime, I hand it over to Federico for the NOR portal.
Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, David, for this presentation. I will share my screen now. Okay. So, how to access the services that David showed us just now? We can start by going to the Network of Resources Discover portal, reachable by going to the web address nor-discover.org. We will be redirected to the NOR web page, where we have some useful information related to the Network of Resources initiative. Like, for instance, by going down, we have the number of approved projects, the number of providers onboarded, and of service offered by the Network of Resources. And we have some useful sections, like the news section or the ESA sponsorship procedures and so on. By going to the portfolio page and scrolling down, we find a button where we have an access it here writing to access the NOR portfolio. The NOR portfolio is the list of all the possible services available through the Network of Resources, and we can search for a specific service here by type and filtering like this, or we can just scroll down until we find what we are looking for. For instance, in this case, let's say we are looking for OneAtlas. So here we have some useful information related to the services, like the details of the service, the collections available through this service. We have also an overview here, and so on. There is a link to the provider help desk, which is really helpful, especially at the beginning of our project, because if we want to understand if a service is really suitable for the goal of our project, we always advise you to contact first the provider help desk. This will speed up all the process and also avoid any kind of mistakes on services request and so on. Then we have a pricing wizard that will open a form that we need to fill out if we want to ask for a sponsorship from the Network of Resources. First of all, we need to state the project type. We have 4 different project types: commercial, research, pre-commercial, and educational. The commercial project type is not available for, it's not suitable, for sponsorship. So we need to work on a research, pre-commercial, or educational project to ask for a sponsorship. Let's say we are working on a research one. Then we have a list of the possible services available through OneAtlas. We can select one service by clicking on the tick box, and we can change the units, for instance, the number of subscriptions and so on, and the duration. We will have an overview of the cost that we will also find at the bottom of the form here. Then we have 2 different options. The first one is to purchase the services directly from the provider by going to the provider website, or ask ESA for a sponsorship. In this case, we need to state if we are working on an ESA project or not. If you're working on an ESA project, we need to have an ESA contract number and an ESA technical officer assigned to our project. So let's say we are not ENISA project. And in this case, we want to remind you that there are some sponsorship eligibility criteria. Like, for instance, it's not possible to ask for more than 5,000 euros of sponsorship. And this is why we have an option to co-fund the cost, because if we are asking for more than 5,000 euros, for instance, we can say, okay, we still want the services, but we will co-fund the cost that exceed the maximum amount. In this case, let's say no, and then we click on Ask ENISA for sponsorship. We will be redirected to the form web page, where we need to start by putting the project title and the name of the project coordinator. Then we need to say what is the project coordinator work category. For instance, if we are a student, professor, or a company employee, and so on. We need to put our official email address that must be an organizational email address. We cannot accept requests that are coming from personal email addresses. Then the project organization name, country, web page, and address. Then the second part of the form is where we need to describe our project, starting from the objectives, so which are final goals of our project, the implementation methodology that we want to use to reach these objectives, and the expected results. The justification for selected services and provider, and this is why we advise you to contact first the provider, because here we need to see why these services that you're requesting to the network of resources are helpful for your goals, for your final goals of the project. The description of work within the cloud environment, really important, because as Zainab was saying at the beginning of the session, the network of resources aim to bring user to data and not the contrary. So we want to see that you are working inside the cloud environment of the provider. If you want to only access data, there are other ENISA initiatives that you can apply for to access only data without working on the cloud environment. Then you need to state the geographical area of interest of the project. If you are working, for instance, on some cities, region, country, or countries, and so on. And finally, the last things to do are starting from if it's or not the first time you have applied to the network of resources sponsorship. If it's not the first time, you then will need to state here a previous request ID that was accepted for a previous request. If you are working on an ENISA project, here there will be other fields to fill out, starting from the ENISA technical officer name and ENISA contact number. And then we have an overview of the sponsored resources that we requested. The last thing to do is to state here the expected date of submission of the set of slides with month and year. What is the set of slides? Is a set of 4 or 5 slides made in PowerPoint or any PowerPoint-like tool that clearly say why the resources that you requested through the network of resources were helpful for your project. Even if you didn't, let's say, reach your final goal, because if you're working on a research project, it might happen. But we want to see why and how you used the resources you requested through the network of resources. Then you can or cannot sign up for the NOR newsletter. You must accept the privacy policy of ENISA. And finally, you need to export the sponsoring request. It will create a PDF file. You need to download the PDF file, sign it, and if you are working on an ENISA project, you need also to have the form signed by the ENISA technical officer. And once you have the form signed, you email it to the NOR-sponsorship-request at ENISA.int. Then we'll start the evaluation process that might take some days. Usually it takes around 6 working days, but it might take longer if for instance, you are requesting resources that need further investigation, and in that case, you will be contacted. So that's it from my side. I thank you again, David, for the presentation, and I give the floor back to Zainab.
Thanks, Federico. If there are no further questions, I will maybe close the session here. Just before David, because so you presented all the services that are available on demand on the platform. Let's say if I'm a user or a customer that wants to develop a customized service per se, so using some Airbus data, but also other data sources. If I understood correctly, there is no development environment per se on the platform. I have a workspace where I have the data I'm using or the results of my analytics, but is it possible for me as a user to bring data on the platform and develop my application on the platform? Or if I have such a use case, I just consult you and then we figure out case by case how it goes. Because I saw that you have many super interesting case studies, the one that you presented with Ecopia on the land use, but also others on different applications. So I was wondering if what's the standard way of operating to develop a customized application, let's say.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just lost you at the end of the, but I got the question, so you can still answer, I think. Okay, so our workspace is really a data delivery workspace, and you cannot, let's say, build workflows from Sentinel or other source of images plus our data there, not on OneAtlas. Okay, so this is not something that is possible. If we have, if there is a company who wants to build an application and then they want to let's say to a bit test it in our own environment, to test in data at scale, etc. We have a specific platform called the Playground, but it's really a different thing than OneAtlas. It's really a platform where our partners or companies can host a Docker, a model, and test it with us at scale in multiple configurations, etc. So we have this Playground, but it's a bit different. It's really dedicated on the model development and only for Airbus imagery. Okay, and when it comes to building a more complex workflow with Sentinel, Landsat, whatever images plus our images, then it needs to go through other platforms and other offering of the Isanor portfolio.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you so much. So thanks everyone for attending. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us, to David, if you have questions about the platform, or to Federico and I if you have questions about the NOR portal or sponsorship. I hope to see you in the next training session next week. And as usual, we'll send you a form. Please feel free to fill it and share it with us. And see you next week. Thanks. Thank you, David, again. Thanks, Federico.
Thank you.